Hello everyone, this is Jonas Jinken. I am a graduate student at Grand Canyon University. Today I'll be talking about eight forms of uh, cyber attacks, attack families and descriptions. The first one will be buffer overflow. A buffer overflow attack is a form of attack whereby an attacker sends more data into a program file or a program memory than that exceeds the normal quantity that server should handle. This causes an overflow. This causes the server to lose memory and of course write adjacent memory areas and execute arbitrary code. Once the arbitrary code is executed, the server, of course, will not be able to perform as desired, and the attacker will gain access to the system. An example of this was the 2017 WannaCry ransom attack, where an attacker sent buffer into a system, causing that caused a vulnerability within the Microsoft Windows systems, and this spread across several nations. And of course, the attacker was able to use this to request a ransomware, where they requested a ransom to decrypt the keys for the organizations to regain their systems. So a buffer overflow attack is a serious form of attack that organizations should look out and make sure that they educate their users and, of course, harden their systems. The next form of attack will be privilege escalation. A privilege escalation is a form of attack where an attacker gains illicit elevated access or elevated privileges to a system uh, beyond the regular privileges that they are assigned, be it an internal user who illicitly escalates privileges, or maybe an attacker that gains access to a system and without that gains access to a system that they are not privileged to, and of course moves vertically or horizontally within that system to gain more access. Uh, Privilege escalation has two categories. One is the horizontal privilege escalation that allows attackers to gain access to another account and take over someone else's account within the system. So this is where the attacker comes in as new, but moves horizontally to gain more access to the system. Vertical privilege access is where an attacker within a system gains privileged access or elevated privileges within the system and escalate and moves upper levels to either a root account or a privileged user account. We have an example of a privilege escalation, which is a 2016 Dirty Cow privilege escalation vulnerability that was discovered in the Linux kernel. The next form of attack is the rootkit. The rootkit is a malicious, is typically a malicious uh, type of attack. This attack provides privileges administrative access to computers once it is installed and during boot time. During the computer boot time, this rootkit, which was actually in the system, will escalate privileges and move up uh, the administrative ladder within the system and gain more privileges during boot time. The next form of attack is the Trojan. The Trojan attack is generally known as the Trojan horse. It's an embedded uh, malicious payload within an application that seems as legitimate, but once an attacker clicks on it or once a user clicks on it, sorry, once a user clicks on it, it becomes it it unveils itself as a malicious code and infects the user's system. Attackers are able to carry out any any legitimate uh, 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 attackers can be able to use this attack to carry out malicious attacks within the system. However, uh, at the face value, at the face looking at it, the Trojan will seem as if it is it is legitimate. But of course, once it is clicked on, it will unveil itself as that malicious code, and of course modify data, delete files, and altering content within the system. And of course, an example of a Trojan will be the the Zeus Trojan of 2007 that actually affected a lot of banking systems and, encrypted files. Another form of attack is a backdoor, attack. A backdoor attack refers to any method by which uh, unauthorized person gains access to a system, though the system might actually have security parameters, but the attacker will be able to gain access through a loophole within the network system, or the computer, and they might equally gain root access within that application or within that system, and install either malware, viruses, and the trojans, and the spyware, and so many other forms of attacks that a backdoor that is installed on a computer can actually cause. So a backdoor it's a loophole within, or maybe a weakness, a vulnerability within the computer system that can allow attackers to get in, escalate privileges, and cause other forms of attacks. And of course, we know of the Stuxnet worm that was discovered in 2010. That was so sophisticated piece of malware, and was designed to target industrial control systems. Yeah, it was targeted to attack the industrial control systems. The Stuxnet worm of 2010. It's a typical example of a backdoor. The next form of attack that we know is a virus. Viruses in themselves are, 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 are program files that might lie within our systems for years if they are not triggered. If a user doesn't click on it, it might lie there for several years. But once a user clicks on it, they they infect data and program files. They self-replicate and will attack the entire network. So it is advisable that if a user discovers that there's a virus attack within the system, the first thing is to do is to get that system off the network, so that the virus does not attack the entire network, so it doesn't replicate and infect the entire system. Of course, an example of this will be the I love you virus, also known as the love bug virus of the year 2000, that infected so many computer files through an email. And they can disguise themselves and lie there, as we said, for several years unless somebody triggers it, and they get into systems probably through uh, they can get into systems through it, social engineering methods, or maybe through even uh, phishing methods. Return-oriented program is another form of a cyber attack. This this is a computer security exploit technique which allows an attacker to execute code. Though the system might have a defense system, the attacker takes advantage of the existing codes within the system, use it to create a vulnerability and attack the system. And and they do this without injecting new code within the system because the system already has security. They might not be able to inject new code within the system because of the security, but they might take advantage of existing codes within the system to compromise the system. And another form of attack, which probably is the last one, is a social engineering attack. The social engineering attack is the social engineering is not a cyber attack, but instead a form of attack that works on psychology of persuasion. The attacker will persuade an individual into divulging sensitive information. They can use a phone call, like example would be a whaling attack, which targets top the C-suite within an organization, top financial officers, and they might propose them some whooping, mind-blowing financial deals, and once information is divulged, they use it and attack the system. Another example is individuals calling people and threatening that, oh, this is FBI, or maybe this is IRS. You didn't file your taxes. If you don't give me your social security number for us to verify, we're going to levy you a big chunk amount of money for you to pay. And so this is a threat. There's some sort of a threat or a deceitful method through which attackers gain information from users. And the best thing that organizations do in order to prevent from attacks will be to do a lot of user awareness trainings to alert users, to teach them how to identify social engineering attacks, or identify fishy emails and things. Organizations can equally implement firewalls within their system to segregate traffic that comes in and goes out. They are equally supposed to use a DMZ in order to make sure that their web servers are on the DMZ, and so that it's segregated from their internal network. So the internal network should have, of course, both the firewalls should have IPIs and IDIs that monitor the system and send alerts to security staff if there are any malicious activities going on within the system. And thank you. That will be all for today. Yeah, I appreciate it. See you in the next